Hello, All Tower fans, and welcome to another All Tower Media podcast. In this episode, the hosts of Spoilercast discuss little-known crossover universes, like, for example, the Ghostbusters appearing in Casper the Friendly Ghost, starring Christina Ricci. Yeah, there was a reference in there. As always, we want to thank Spellbook Studios for the use of their recording equipment and studio, and a big thanks to Dire Monkey for all the work that he helps put in. Be sure to head over to spellbook.com to find out more information about them and links to their awesome mobile games. Also, our friends over at Flick Freaks hit 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is awesome, and we want to congratulate them on their success. Be sure to give them a listen, as they have some very interesting podcasts and YouTube episodes. You can find them pretty much at any social site, such as YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook at /FlickFreaks. If you're looking for some awesome reads, head over to darkwaterfiction.com to check out some great books by D.A. Roberts and other authors. You can always find all this information, as well as our own, at alltowermedia.com. There, you can purchase All Tower gear, visit our host pages, find older episodes, and more. Now, if you enjoy our podcast, which if you're listening, I'm hoping that you do, be sure to head over to patreon.com/alltowermedia and donate. This money will not only go to help us improve our podcasts, but it will go to also giving you access to an exclusive podcast just for those of you who donate. So you can head over there, make as little as a $1 donation, and you'll have access to our All Tower Media podcast, starring a Roper from Spoilercast and myself, Josh, from Agents of Sir, and we dive further into recently discussed episodes and what's going on at All Tower Media. Now, if you like purchasing our stuff, and with our card game coming up soon, we will be giving out things like special discount code offers and possibly even early releases as well to those who donate. Now, perk up your ear holes, boys and girls, for another All Tower podcast recorded transdimensionally for your listening pleasure.
Hello and welcome to Spoilercast by All Tower Media over here at the Spellbook Studios. Once again, Jareth, you look like you have to take a poop. Hi.
Oh, just blinking something out of my eye.
All right. How have you been since the last episode?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Somebody unsuccessfully attempted to break into my patrol car. It didn't work out so well for them.
Breaking into a police car is usually the opposite thing that most people do. Most people try to break out of police cars.
That's true. I think they were trying to get something from my car, but there's nothing in it.
Maybe it was your hot body. Ooh.
Maybe. I'm going to start sharing that on Facebook. Maybe. Doubt it. Anyhow, going around the room in the opposite direction, it just got a whole lot darker in here. Wow. Somebody turned off a light. Dire Monkey.
Surprise.
Yo. How have you been?
Peachy.
How have things over here at Spellbook been?
Awesome.
Anything new and exciting? I feel like I'm probing you for one-word answers.
Yes. Lots of news to talk about. Just can't talk about it right now. I'm
Son
under
of a bitch.
I'm under an embargo or a gag order or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, gag order sounds best.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds best.
Dirty.
Well,
That's what makes it
can
best.
certainly make it dirty, I guess.
It is a gag order, after all. Let's see here. That other voice you're hearing is...
I'm the Sasha Grey of Spellbook Studio. Wait, what?
Whoa. The other voice that we're hearing over here is Allie. Hi, Allie.
Hi, Maddie.
How have we been?
We have been ups and downs.
Yeah?
Yeah, doing
Are-
all right.
Are we on an upswing?
I think so.
And we're back on an
I
upswing.
think so.
Now that
Except
we're
for this cold. Fuck this cold. I'm done. I'm ready for summer.
I enjoy the cold. And I like the snow.
You can have the cold and you can have the snow.
Well, I'm going to, and that just by default means you're going to have it as well.
Piss off.
Well, there you go. So, tonight, we're talking about
Some crazy ass shit.
Basically, kind of. It's crossover realities. I'm wanting to look at
specifically crossover realities in media.
Yeah,
not like the idea of alternate universes blending into our own.
Well, if you've got examples of it, I'll hear it.
Of course I don't. If I had good examples of that, science would hear about it already.
All right, fair enough. Well, we all know that things like the MCU exist, and within the MCU, all of their media. That's why it is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, everything within there is related.
Correct.
Daredevil could conceivably meet the Avengers, and nobody would bat an eye.
Correct. That's like, well, Jessica Jones. Recently, I saw an episode that had the nurse that was helping out Daredevil, and she makes reference to Daredevil to Jessica Jones in the episode without actually saying Daredevil.
Speaking of, and slightly off that topic, but on that topic, I've heard rumors that there will be a night nurse series.
Really?
Based on the nurses that take care of, say, Daredevil and Jessica Jones and
that'd be
all
cool.
those.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, again, that's kind of that's a layup of what we're looking at here. That is the most simplistic end of what it is we're talking about. I mean, we can look at, Stephen King's universe and go, it all relates because that's the design of what it's supposed to be.
Well, I think it's more important that we look at the ones that don't say that they are related.
Not blatantly. And so I think we should look at characters in movies, TV shows, things of that nature that are directly pulled out of one thing and turned around and placed into another one in any fashion.
And I am to understand that you have an astoundingly large list with sources.
Yeah, I can see the list. It's long.
It's literally called Crossovers and Spinoffs Master Page, and it's the website is POOBALA.com.
Poobala?
Poobala.
Wow.
/ crossover list HTML. I'm looking at it right now. It's
Jareth, your face. You look so confused.
It's what it is.
I can't read the small print from here.
All right. Well, it says
I can't see the
says
part.
The Nerd Lunchbox presents, and then it goes through, and it's got apparently they've got a podcast of their own. I'm gonna have to check this out as well.
So then maybe we shouldn't use their source material.
Maybe not.
It sounds a little rude.
I'm not going to pick off
Copyright
this.
infringement.
Stop. I'm not picking off this specifically, but there are certain things that we are going to have to be able to look at, such as I know that I was speaking with you both earlier about the TV series called St. Elsewhere.
Yep.
And they've got a character on it. His name's Timothy Westfall. Who is an autistic character in this series, who at the end of the series, from what I've done reading on, because I never watched it, is...
I'm to understand it was a little before my time.
Yeah, a little, as far as I'm aware as well. But it shows that it had crossovers with other shows, and this wouldn't be that big a deal because crossover episodes from shared TV shows and things of that nature isn't anything new. But with this, at the end of the show, they reveal that every bit of what has occurred was nothing more than a daydream in the mind of the autistic kid. So then it begs the question of, well, if none of this stuff really happened and it was all a portion of the daydream, does that mean that all of the other TV shows that they were crossed over into? So I need to find one specifically. Characters from St. Elsewhere have appeared on Cheers, which means that Cheers is a portion of the daydream, which means that Frasier is a portion of also the shared daydream.
I would say not.
Why were you were saying something about that earlier, which I thought was fascinating. What was it you were telling us?
Well, to expand that, now that I've got the actual sources where the other characters show up, I find it hard to believe that the autistic child is accurately daydreaming about a bar or a high-rise apartment with wealthy socialites.
Perhaps.
It's more likely that he encountered those people in his day-to-day and added them into his daydream.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So he ran into Timothy Westfall while he was doing what he does.
Being an autistic kid sitting in a hospital.
Autisticking, the verb.
So maybe it's not people that he's encountered personally. Maybe he watches TV. Maybe there's a TV on in the background.
Maybe
Or
he watched Cheers.
Maybe he watched Cheers. Or maybe he's encountering people in his real life and transporting them into
So what you're saying
in
is
his head
that
as different characters.
for this, within the TV show of St. Elsewhere, strictly speaking, any of the crossover episodes it's that you're severing the link between that show and that show's reality and the crossover episode by saying that it was him experiencing them in some other facet, but depositing him into the daydream exclusively for that.
Because they are still sharing the same universe, just that the other things aren't part of the daydream.
Okay.
Because since at the end of it they're like, okay, it was all in the kid's head. That means that that is the universe. There is the expanded outside of the actual hospital.
Okay.
So
all right. I can buy some of that. There is a movie that I was wanting to bring up, which I didn't show a connection for to begin with, and then it dawned on me what it was well after the fact.
was it Buttfucks Let's Go Nuts 12?
No,
Wow.
that's not for this episode.
I'm impressed that you know that exact title. You know that's not a title that he just pulled out of nowhere.
I'm aware.
Oh, shit. Apparently, I'm not well versed on my porn enough. Because it's not a title I was familiar with.
At the time.
I am now.
There you go. So, Jareth, have you seen the movie Casper?
The Friendly Ghost?
Yeah. The movie?
The old ass one, yes.
Yeah.
One with Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question mark?
Yeah, Christina Ricci, and then it's Devon Sawa that plays Casper,
I believe
right?
so, yeah.
It's been like 100 years since I've
Only?
seen that.
Did you? Okay, so do you remember the scene in there where they actually have the Ghostbusters respond to the house to try to take care of the ghosts?
I don't. I
Neither
feel
do
like
I.
I definitely should.
My God, there's a clip of it
Holy
right there.
fucking Christ.
So what does that suggest, Jareth?
That clearly those are in the... Well, actually, that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Because it's a universe where ghosts are a fucking thing.
It's an actual thing. Well, here's Ray hopping out of the house going, who are you going to call? Somebody fucking else. I believe, except for fucking, that's actually what he says in the movie.
That's hilarious.
Because he shows up and the three ghosts that are in there, the uncles of Casper, end up running off Ray. He's not able to bust him.
Well, he was the least...
Ghostbustery?
Yeah.
Is that the verb?
Well, that's a... Is that a adjective? That's an adjective.
Adjective? Okay.
He did bring about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's true.
Which was a...
Well, he was trying to think of the one thing that couldn't hurt them.
Everyone said don't think of anything.
And he went straight to, a giant killer mushroom. Or marshmallow.
And he also
Jesus.
failed the God test.
Your s'mores must taste awful.
Yeah, well.
Or wonderful.
You're just like putting
Or wonderful.
chocolate-covered mushrooms.
If you've never tried mushrooms, the fun kind, you need to cover them up with something. Because they kind of taste like ass, then they taste like nuts.
Well, I'm fairly
and then
certain
they taste like ass again.
I'm fairly certain it's because they're grown up shit.
Yeah. They're freaky shit growths.
Yeah. They're basically poop tumors.
You're a poop tumor.
I actually do have a TV crossover for
All
you.
right, go for it.
Okay, so there's an episode of Friends, and everybody here knows Friends, I'm assuming.
It's pronounced
Friends.
Frines.
Oh, Friends, excuse me.
Frines.
The character Phoebe Buffay has a twin sister named Ursula.
Is
who
that the one
works
who's in
at a coffee
porn?
shop.
Mad About You.
Yes, the crossover's Mad About You. And Helen Hunt and what's her name? With the brown hair. Can't fucking remember her name. From Mad About You.
Wow.
They make an appearance on Friends, and they run into Ursula. Well, Phoebe Buffay, Lisa Kudrow, actually played that waitress Ursula on Mad About You.
Yep.
So when
But then didn't they have the characters from Mad About You on Friends, and
Yes.
they actually have them meet?
they meet Phoebe, but Phoebe is just as ditzy as Ursula,
but
and
they
they
think that it's her.
Phoebe is Ursula.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely her.
Yeah.
Like
I can
it's
take,
hilarious.
I can take that one step further.
Go for it.
Mad About You and Seinfeld are also crossovered
Correct.
because Paul Reiser sells his apartment to Kramer.
He doesn't
That's
sell it. He
right.
gives
Or
it
gives
to
it to
him.
him.
Yeah, he
Yep.
gives it to him. I watched the clip for that earlier
Yeah.
today. So all of those exist together. I'm looking at my massive list here. It says that Friends did a crossover for Caroline in the City.
Yeah.
You're the Friends person. That's why I'm staring at you.
I'm brain farting on her name right now.
Well, Joey becomes a spinoff.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson, thank you. Yes, Leah Thompson shows up. They don't identify her as the character from Caroline in the City, but she is definitely there. And I've heard that Chandler, Matthew Perry, actually appeared on Caroline in the City. So
Under Chandler?
I don't know because I haven't seen that episode. So I don't know if he was playing himself or a different character,
He
or
was
if he was
probably-
playing Chandler Bing. I do not know.
He was probably playing the one character he ever is, which is Chandler Bing.
Pretty much every character.
Even when
In the 5 things that he's in.
Yeah.
even in what is it? The Whole Nine Yards.
The whole line, yeah, he's
Chan-
still
he's
fucking Chandler Bing. 3 to tango. Still Chandler Bing.
That's called typecasting.
Yeah.
Or it's called not having any versatility.
Yeah.
Well, all right, fine. So I guess I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I've done a little bit of reading, I can kind of actually make the connection here. Have you ever seen the movie Rango?
Nope. That's the one with the gecko, though, yeah?
Yeah, the talking lizard that's Johnny Depp.
Nope, never seen it. Didn't really care to.
Didn't really care to. Well, there's a part where Rango in his little Hawaiian shirt thingy here is smashed against the window of a car that has these fine folks sitting inside it. You know what that is?
No, it looks really weird.
It's supposed to be the animated version of Fear and Loathing,
Oh, gotcha.
which is also Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a suggested mesh between the two worlds, and I thought it was at least worth a half a mention.
Sure.
Don't be like that. See, the problem is whenever you start looking at cartoons, you start to kind of get a little bit more than a little bit convoluted because, well, like Family Guy and The Simpsons have guest appearances from fucking everybody. I mean, we could basically overlap. Well, everything into the Simpsons.
Well, then, of course,
the X-Files have been on the Simpsons.
Well, and then of course, well, yeah, you've got Star Trek characters on Family Guy, and oh yeah, everybody. But it's more prominent, I think, with Family Guy and American Dad.
Well,
but that's all under the Seth MacFarlane umbrella.
Family Guy, you kind of have to cut that one out since it's largely cutaway parodies. So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Little non sequiturs.
Yeah, none of that's like, look, this is part of our universe. It's like,
But it could be.
well, yeah, anything could be then.
Kind of like,
Actually-
somebody give me a name of a chick flick.
No, sorry.
Oh, I just had a conversation with Al about this. the
Let
other
me
day.
take a step back. No, nothing could be in the Family Guy universe just by right of their non sequiturs.
All right, fair enough.
And because the other universe would have to play by the same rules as Family Guy's in order to do that, and no other universe plays by Family Guy's rules.
Except
Well, but
for its own spin-offs.
there are Family Guy episodes. Now, granted, the issue with Family Guy that I have is that each episode is its own episode. There is no real,
Not
continuing
necessarily.
storyline.
Not
But there
necessarily.
are episodes where they don't have non sequiturs with guest appearances, like Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd come on. Was it Dan Aykroyd? I don't know. They make a guest appearance on the TV show, and they're there for the entire episode. The whole story for that episode is based on their characters coming into the town,
Adam
and
West.
it's not a non sequitur. So.
I suddenly want to sing
Well,
Adam West and then slide.
But
underneath the table.
we've still got to deal with any other universe having to come down to Family Guy's level.
Right.
Where a handicapped fat asshole can just buy anything he
Right.
wants and blow up everything with zero consequences.
Giant catapult. Why?
Where'd
Why
he get
not?
a giant-ass catapult?
Why not?
Who sold him that? I
Yeah.
think you have to have a license for that.
It's
You probably-
irrelevant.
At
It's
least
irrelevant.
a permit of some kind.
No.
City permit.
No. Nope.
We're not talking about here. We're talking about Quahog.
Oh, okay.
Different.
Yeah.
Well, it's different rules in Rhode Island. You have to give them clams.
Especially different rules in the Family Guy universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the law only shows up when it's super convenient. I don't
Yeah.
like Family Guy very much.
You don't?
I don't.
You like American Dad?
I do like American Dad.
What the fuck?
They're pretty different, actually.
They are very different.
They are.
Actually.
They really are. Yeah. So you like the X-Files?
I do.
Did you know that there's a character that we talked about earlier that apparently connects it in The Wire?
Probably.
Yeah. That would be because of...
Is it the guy that you said earlier?
yeah, Detective John Munch.
Should I pretend to be more surprised about this then?
No.
Cool. Then, yeah, I totally knew that. You told me 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, what was the name of... Yeah, what was the name of the episode that I was telling you about? I don't remember.
The Unusual Suspects.
That's what it was. What's that? Do you even remember anything about that episode?
I'm wanting to say that is the origin story for the lone gunman.
Doesn't that become its own?
The lone gunmen get their own spinoff, but this is the origin of how them and Fox Mulder met, I think.
Gotcha.
But I'm not 100% on that.
Well, from what I was reading, they use the same actor and character information for Law and Order and Special Victims, and then also Homicide: Life on the Street, as well as for
The
Wire, and for X-Files, which again leads. See, I'm looking at it right there. Stop right where you're at. 2008, The Wire, John Munch, right there. Episode's called Took. And then we need to find the one that says X-Files, because John Munch for Law and Order is right there. And there he is for Homicide: Life on the Streets. There it is. Detective John Munch, 1997. The Unusual Suspects is what that one is. So he's Detective John Munch in all of them, which, again, going off of this same kind of blanket that we're looking at, same character, same name over and other things.
And since none of those have particularly radical rules for their universe, those could all be in the same universe.
Right. Well, okay, so it's like what I was discussing with you earlier.
Also, 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
Well,
there you
shit
go.
on a biscuit.
I know nothing of that show.
Thank you. But isn't that supposed to be him playing his character?
Which breaks your theory that that character exists in all these episodes, but he only exists in them as TV shows since he plays
Not necessarily.
the character John Munch.
Not necessarily.
What if the character that he plays in 30 Rock is based off an actual character
Named John Munch?
named John Munch that has existed in this other thing?
Which came first, John Munch or Richard?
John which came first, John Munch or John Munch?
Yeah.
Oh, his actual name is Richard Belzer.
No one cares about his actual
So
name.
which came first, John Munch or Richard Belzer?
John Munch.
Detective.
He was always
Sir.
John Munch.
In everything, he's always been John.
You okay over there?
Yeah, I was adjusting.
Okay.
My ass was getting sleepy.
I'll wake it up.
Wow.
Easy. Don't go back to that porn title. That was weird. That was super, super weird. So there's a lot of interlocking TV series that do a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's like we've just been sitting here talking about.
The entire TGIF ABC lineup, remember from back in the day? Family Matters, Full House, all those shows.
Yeah.
All those exist in the same universe.
Really?
Yep.
Steve Urkel shows up on all of them.
Yep. He's shown up in Full House and
It's because Steve
Step by
Urkel is a
step.
magical mastermind who's been
See,
slowly...
obviously, he's like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He can step through fucking like doorways and stuff like that allow you, you know.
Which is weird to see him show up in San Francisco on Full House when they lived in like Detroit,
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
People can fly on planes?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
Steve?
Urkel? Yeah.
unless he was Stefan, then maybe. But
Yeah.
Wow. That's, yeah, just no. So, okay, we can obviously make the leap that most of the Quentin Tarantino movies also fall into their own little...
They do all
Pocket
play
universe?
by the bizarre, gory rules of Quentin Tarantino, yes.
Well, yeah, it's...
He also has a unique timeline that seems to apply to all of them.
Yeah, It's its own pocket universe, kind of like Stephen King has his own pocket universe, as I was saying just a moment ago. That's like their thing. It's how those are put together and written. We can also make the same leap for a lot of the Pixar movies.
Yep, because every inanimate object is sentient. And if we just assume that there is a different time period for each of these, then
there's
it makes
crossovers
sense.
for all of them. There's references to all the toys. And,
Oh, yeah.
and other
The
stuff.
freaking pizza drivers in every goddamn one of them.
Yep.
At least the truck.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody had mentioned that the trash truck driver in the third Toy Story, it's not Pizza Guy.
It's not?
It's Sid.
Snap.
If you look at the shirt, it's that Punisher shirt.
Oh,
I guess
yeah?
It's totally fucking Sid, dude.
That makes sense why he's got like shit strapped up on his front, because he's just like,
Yeah.
fuck toys.
Yeah, fuck toys, man. They tortured him. I actually just saw a
Love
meme
me
on
some
Facebook
fuck
the other
toys.
day that was Sid as a toy. It was a Sid action figure, and the meme just said, my, how the tables have turned.
Yeah. That'd be how awful would that be to find out the toys are real and someone makes a toy of you?
That'd be creepy as
That'd be
shit.
super duper creepy.
Creepy as shit.
What a little monster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd a little toy version of me. Oh,
Suddenly I'm taken over to the Puppet Master movies, and I don't know why. This is so weird. Didn't you guys watch that just like back during October? Fairly certain I was watching those movies. Irrelevant. So,
Did you say irrelevant?
irrelevant.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I do that on occasion.
He also says drawl.
Draw
Correct yourself.
and brawl. As in you're wearing a brawl.
Okay, but
You're wearing
You know,
one-
there's no L in draw or bra.
You're
That's not
wearing
true.
a fight. You're just
Fight?
You said brawl.
It's a brawl.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're wearing a brawl, then you're wearing a fight.
yeah. You're wearing.
No. It's a brawl.
There's fist fighting going on in the boobies.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, it's not. What are you doing?
Shaking.
Matt just did a little booty dance in his chair.
I did the truffle shuffle.
You did
all
the truffle shuffle
No one
in your-
saw it, but everyone knows that I just
in
did
your
the
rolly
truffle.
chair,
That's
so
exactly
it
right.
looked hysterical.
That was awesome.
We need to get this podcast cammed.
Well, there's some red tape we got to cut through in order to make that happen. Okay, and part of
Oh
that,
shit! It got real serious.
yeah, part of that is to put a bag on Jareth's head
Oh, that's fine. I'll go buy the red tape tomorrow.
With red tape.
with red tape.
This is a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
as long as that can be on video too.
Now, folks, another portion of this will be requiring funding, and part of that funding will be requiring us to shave Allie's head.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this just happened.
Fuck. I always dread whenever
So
you
if
plug
you're-
this.
If you're willing to donate us some money, we'll not only shave her melon, but we'll also see about getting some cameras put up in here in order for you to see me do the truffle shuffle
So-
and Allie's
the
bald
shaving.
head.
I guess we've knocked out the Patreon campaign pretty early in the store.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, so we have a Patreon account.
We also have a store where you can buy shirts and other knickknacks.
Patty Wax give you dog
An online knickknackery.
Yeah, that stuff. So I meant to ask you because now apparently we're doing this. How's Flick Freaks?
Well, they're doing good.
Yeah, you flicking freaks?
I'm freaking flicks.
You're right in the ear.
Oh,
Right in the ear.
No,
Oh, how do you flick a freak?
I don't know. I freak flicks. They flick freaks.
How do you do that?
How do
Explain
I
it
freak
to me,
a flick?
Jareth.
You find a flick and then you freak it.
Wow.
Yeah. Step
awesome.
1, find the flick.
Okay.
Step 2, freak it.
I don't know why, but just us having this little back and forth makes me think of A Million Ways. Was it A Million Ways Down in the West?
yes,
Don't know,
that
haven't
was
seen
great.
it.
Oh, that was fantastic. I thought it was hilarious.
What crossover am I thinking of suddenly?
I don't know.
Don't you remember Seth's character strolling over to the barn because he sees the lights shooting out of it and he opens it up?
Oh, what is it? Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking-
I was half drunk when I watched it, so
Doc Brown standing in there.
Yeah.
Preparing for a weather experiment.
yeah, that was actually pretty fucking funny.
Jesus H. Christ.
Is that you? Would you stop that? That's twice during this episode.
I
My
put it on.
God.
I put it on silent. I forgot that I had an alarm set for 7:30 because I took a nap the other day.
Why? Were you planning on waking up 24 hours later?
Well, no, I just
48 hours
I
later?
just haven't deactivated the alarm.
Oh, okay. I got you. Just general laziness.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, doing...
Here's a crossover for you. My nuts crossing over this table to your face. Fucker.
These nuts.
Jeez.
So, okay, now we've covered, I think, quite a bit of TV, a little bit of movies.
A little bit.
TV's a shitload easier than movies.
Well, yeah, because
Truth.
it's more perpetual. You know, I think that movies are a little bit more subtle, unless you're getting into the MCU.
Yeah, the MCU is not subtle with crossovers at all.
Well, it doesn't need
What
to
is
be.
subtle?
Well, then you have like franchises like Freddy versus Jason that we were talking about earlier, and then of course Aliens versus Predator.
Again, not subtle.
Not subtle in any
subtle.
fashion whatsoever.
But they're actual, honest-to-God crossovers.
correct.
But then you have like unintentional crossovers with Indiana Jones and seeing C-3PO and R2-D2 on one of the
hieroglyphs.
The hieroglyphs, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you've got
Which that was very subtle.
You've got that connects back across to obviously Star Wars, which loops back over to the prequels that has the ET characters wandering around in the
Here's
Senate,
a potentially interesting
brings us
one
back
for
around to Earth.
movies.
Go ahead for it.
I read once that Blade Runner and the Alien universe are
I did
supposed to
see.
be.
I was actually
Really?
looking at that.
Wayland Corp or something like that.
Yeah,
The company.
Wayland Yutani is the one in Aliens. But yeah, they're set in different time periods, but they're like
Interesting.
in the same universe.
Well, that's
apparently.
actually quite hopeful then for humanity because obviously we survive.
Well, Blade Runner came first.
Oh, well, that's regrettable then.
Yes.
So we get to make hot robots soon.
I think there is some excellent strides in that. They're making some great advancements.
And then
Not fast enough.
they become psychotic and they're
Yep.
like, we're going to help the aliens. For
and
a
then
little bit.
Skynet.
And then Skynet, which is what I was getting ready to say a minute ago when I was like, name a chick flick. And then I was going to be like, there are Terminators that exist within that chick flick. And you'd be
Possibly.
you'd be like, no. And I'd turn around and go, fucking prove me wrong.
Well, and see, I was going to tell you I can't weigh in on that because Al and I just had a conversation with this the other night. He was asking me to name off chick flicks, and I can't do it.
Actually, if the chick flick takes place like after 2001, then there's no Terminators in it.
Unless you watch the newest Terminator movie for Genesis, which breaks everything.
Which we still have
Unless
not
you
seen.
watch every single other Terminator where everything gets broken every time. I love Terminator.
Every time.
but-
Except for Genesis. Genesis stops it from occurring.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't,
It does.
because the Terminator universe is predicated on the idea of infinite timelines.
It ends.
Okay, sure.
It does. Have you seen it?
No, I
Does
haven't.
the planet explode?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Valid question.
They by the end of it, they make it to where both realities exist at the exact same time. It's fucking weird.
Okay.
It's super duper fucking weird because he starts having dual memories, a life where it's Reese. He starts having memories of whenever he had his family there all of his life and when he didn't have his family there all of his life because both things are happening at the same time. And so he actually has to go meet himself as a kid to tell him to remember that Genesis is Skynet in order for them to be able to stop this other reality from happening by the end of the movie. And they defeat Judgment Day.
But
So
that
there-
could still mean that there are other realities where those realities
Correct.
weren't merged.
Correct.
Which means there could still be more Terminator movies or shows later in forever.
Correct.
It sounds like it
So
touches more on the multiverse concept
Yeah.
rather than actual time, just
Yeah.
simple time travel.
Yeah, it's super duper weird.
That's-
But it makes it to where it both ends with Judgment Day and not ends with Judgment Day.
Still sounds to me like what I said about there not being Terminators in that chick flick are probably true.
Could be, but then they might not be.
And that's how I beat your point.
That's it right there. So there's suggestion that Firefly.
That most of Joss Whedon's stuff is potentially in,
What do you what do you think about that?
probably not,
No,
since
you don't want to go off the Vampire Slayer the
Can
Slayer
you
theory.
explain this train
Most-
of thought for us layman's?
most of Joss
Have you
Whedon's
seen anything as far as Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel?
No.
Or, okay. Go ahead.
Here's the problem.
This is going to stop it right there and go right back to Jareth.
The problem with all of his stuff being in the same thing is that almost all of his shit ends or starts at an apocalypse, and they're all a completely different apocalypse. Firefly starts after the Earth's resources are used up.
Correct.
Buffy ends with vampire demon apocalypse.
Okay.
Fucking Dollhouse ends with brainwipe apocalypse. Cabin in the Woods ends with Old God Awakens apocalypse.
Okay.
So, like, unless all of those are happening simultaneously and then just each particular offshoot happened to forget all the crazy-ass shit that happened, then I don't think they're in the same universe.
Well, I suppose so. I guess unless...
Because I think that it'd be worth mentioning in Firefly if they're like, yeah, the giant-ass old gods showed up and vampires are totally real. We just didn't bring them with us when we left Earth.
We found a way to detect them all, and then we left them behind because fuck vampires.
Yeah.
You know, except for that one.
Except for the one.
Yeah, so...
So, yeah, I don't think they're in the same universe.
You don't think so?
I do not.
Have you read that theory, at least entertained the idea that somehow...
I've entertained it enough to come up with this particular argument against it. Yes.
Somehow River is a Slayer all the way in the fucking future.
No.
She's a Terminator.
Well, not there. Not in that she's not. In the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Well,
that's just the same actress, not the same character.
River doesn't need to be a Slayer.
Prove me wrong, bitch. You don't think so?
No, because a Slayer doesn't need to... A Slayer's going to be a Slayer, period. Slayer's going to slay. It's just a fact.
Quick, sing it. Sing it.
No.
Damn it.
So, like, a Slayer is a Slayer. Nobody has to go poking around inside their brain, adding shit in to make them into a Slayer.
Maybe that's not what that was, though. Maybe it's just pissing her off. It's like shooting a really big grizzly bear with a .22. You're just making it angry.
Well, I guess I can't say for certain since none of that shit ever ended up getting put down, did it?
Right. Yeah, they kind of...
C'est tragique.
They fucking fuck stuff up, and they're like, you know what? This is a really great show. I think there are a lot of people that really, truly enjoy this, and...
kill it.
Yeah, go ahead and...
Welcome to
We're just going to stop that shit right now.
Because we don't give a fuck.
Let's dump out like another 12 fucking seasons of, I don't know, fill in whatever diarrhea.
Fear Factor?
There you go.
Yeah.
Whatever fucking diarrhea they put up on TV instead. Dire Monkey, I know that you put a little bit of thought to this the other day, but we also kind of discussed the fact that this was kind of challenging to think of just on-the-spot crossover stuff.
Well, it's kind of a cop-out, but all of Kevin Smith's movies that take place in New Jersey, aside from Jersey Girl, all exist in the same universe.
Jay and Silent Bob appear in pretty much all of them.
Yeah, well, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Clerks 2 all reference the same characters.
Yep.
And not necessarily just Jay and Silent Bob, but they'll talk about the same characters like Walt Flanagan's dog and things like that. So,
but then they do the same perpetual jokes across the board.
Right. 37 and things like that.
Yeah. I enjoyed those.
Oh, I love them.
My favorite is still the Go Goth and Shit Demon. Nothing makes me more happy than the fact that they stand up and
spray it with the shit be gone or poo be gone or whatever. Poopery.
They're like, why do you carry that? I could spray Jay with it, and he's like, the fuck are you doing? It made me so happy. That and the fact that George Carlin's in all of them. Most of them. Yeah,
he's in
most of them.
Two.
Well, he's the Pope.
Yeah, and Dogma, and then he's also the hitchhiker that sucks dick for a ride.
I'll take a shot in the mouth if it gets me halfway across the country.
Yeah. Which, does that mean that it's tied in with Star Wars? Because both Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Jay and Silent Bob
see, because those they're not their characters, which makes me wonder.
But they have a bong saber fight.
They do.
Christ.
They do have a bong saber.
No,
the cock knocker.
Son of a... No,
I want to see that character show up in the new Force the big dildo saber at the end.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
That'd be fantastic.
Who's directing this?
I would stand up and applaud.
M. Night Shyamalan?
I would
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Avenge me.
Hemp night.
Plot twist. That'd make you happy, admit it.
Yeah, it would. I would give a standing ovation if
Oh, yeah.
you just prepare for cock knocking. Just standing on the island, Ray walks up and he just turns around and gives that Joker grin and punches her right in the twat with his big fist. Knocks
Which,
her
by
right
the
off
way,
the island.
notice the cock knocker hand
Yeah.
is the right hand.
Well, you know,
Just saying.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe this makes me so happy. So that's not a cop out, but I do enjoy it and I appreciate that. Actually, the other day you got on Kevin Smith and I put thought to the movie Red State, which I haven't seen in like forever. I actually enjoyed that.
Well, actually, I can tie in Kevin Smith movies to a alternate reality because Jay and Silent Bob show up in Scream
That's right.
2 or 3 as Jay and Silent Bob.
Really?
It's the Scream that takes place in a movie lot, and Jay and Silent Bob are on the movie tour,
Yep.
and they see Courtney Cox walk by, and they're like, "Hey, it's that Connie fucking Chung chick."
Yeah, and then they end up barging in on recording of Scream with Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think there was ever Goodwill Hunting 2, but there was like a mockery of it with Matt
yeah.
Damon and Ben Affleck.
That was funny. That's like
You Affleck, you done bombs in Phantom, Joe.
True. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
So then does that mean that in one universe that's only a movie in existence and then in the other one it's reality?
Well, actually, in its own universe, it's also a movie.
In the Askew universe, I think, which the Kevin Smith
Which
universe.
came first?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's odd.
Have to sit down and like diagram it out. Need like a compass and a protractor. And
Yeah, I think you'd need like an engineering degree.
Yeah.
in order
Yeah.
to be able to actually-
Well,
Jareth?
after the first one, the Screams become very meta already, so
yeah.
their own universe treats themselves like they're in a movie. So
What's your favorite scary movie? Showgirls.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Which, does Showgirls mean that Jessie turned into a stripper from Saved by the Bell?
Yes, it does.
Since she never showed up at Zach and Kelly's wedding
Yep.
in Vegas, she was dancing.
Yep.
Wow.
That's how I viewed it anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. Little things you walk away from, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I always knew she was a whore.
Well, so okay,
Sexy whore.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We came up with a thing earlier this evening that we've realized that either Jareth would become a murder victim or a murderer or a police special informant person.
like I'd be an assisting officer.
Yeah, but not really a cop.
Yeah.
Because
Like pretty much every crime drama / crime serial
All of
seems to take place in the same universe.
all of the NCISs occur and have crossover episodes with Hawaii Five-0 and Criminal Minds. And this would be, as you pointed out, Jareth, this would be a terrible universe to actually exist in. Because
and all of those universes, like even like CSI and stuff, they all play by the same rules. You break out a black light and everybody's
You're gonna find
jizzed
cum.
everywhere. You can get
it all glows.
you can get blood results back in 24 hours
if
Oh,
that.
less than.
Oh, if that, yeah.
Oh, we're
with a
talking
100% match.
Yeah.
Yes, like yeah, it's totally this guy that we've never even swapped before.
Less time
yeah.
if you put a counter on the TV, like in 24.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You get it in minutes.
So
That's a fantastic point. Thank you for that.
if you take all of those rules in
Oh, and
hand,
Jag also fucking exists in the same universe as well.
then all of those are in the same universe, which means that, like, give us another 20 years and the entire goddamn U.S. is going to be depopulated by serial killers.
or Big Brother will be so involved that everybody just lives in a giant, enormous police state, and no one's able to get away with anything. Which turns us all the way back around to what's the movie where they take convicts and they put them on New York?
Oh, Escape from New York.
There you go. Thank you. That's what it'll turn into. That's its future right there.
Snake fucking Plissken?
With Snake Plissken.
Or it'll turn into something like Running Man.
Yeah. No.
You don't think so?
No. No.
I do. I think that'd be awesome.
Although that is the next scheduled time frame that we're actually getting ready to approach. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
The next one is supposed to be...
I think so.
Supposed to be that.
The fuck are you talking about?
We've already passed the Back to the Future mark where they traveled forward to the future too. The next one coming up is Running Man.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's a thing. Prepare for Running Man.
We're also coming up on Demolition Man.
That's true.
Yeah.
We did get done watching that, though, just a couple of weeks ago.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger won't be president, unfortunately.
We are also past the point where the last murder in the Los Angeles area has happened in Demolition Man. It was like 2011 that the last registered murder happened.
Yeah,
the
fairly
last 187 murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill.
Enhance your calm.
MDK. I've been saying that a lot more here recently.
Good. You need a little bit more Demolition Man in your life. That movie's fantastic.
I've been telling people to enhance their calm.
They need to.
You get a lot of strange looks from people when you say it to them.
And it doesn't work in our world.
No,
and theirs.
it really doesn't.
Everyone's like, okay, yeah, I'll enhance my calm.
That's a thing. I should
It's-
totally do that.
Did you take him to Taco Bell?
No.
Well, you should.
It's a fancy restaurant. I'm not spending that kind of money on it.
It's true. It is very fancy.
Jesus. That's
also-
also got Dennis Leary in it.
Yeah.
See, I
And
tried...
the Hunka Chunka.
Really?
Just saying.
You didn't have to.
Kind of did.
All right, fine. So, most post-apocalyptic movies, such as like Mad Max, things of that nature, so long as you don't hit the time frame correctly, because each of them have like when these things occurred.
Yeah.
So like Mad Max has, it's what, 2000s that was supposed to have occurred, is that right?
I think it's somewhere in the 90s.
Really? When the end of the world was supposed to have came around for Mad Max? All right. Well, nevertheless, same with the worlds in which Judgment Day occurs for Terminator. So long as the movie that you're talking about falls in the history of and does not conflict directly with the end of the world scenario that is in question.
For example, a zombie apocalypse as opposed to a nuclear apocalypse.
Correct. You could pose that each of these things occurred within the history of that particular said apocalypse, correct?
Oh, well, in that case, Book of Eli and Mad Max. Boom. Different parts of the world, but same universe.
I could see it.
Perhaps.
That's a fascinating theory. I like it. I like that.
Shaun of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Same concept, different parts of the world, but it's still a zombie apocalypse. So why couldn't they be in the same universe?
Jareth?
I think they're different zombies. The reasoning behind in Shaun of the Dead, the reason behind the zombies is still unclear, whereas in fucking Dawn of the Dead, it's not, I believe. I think it's pretty much they figure the fuck out.
I think they figure it out in Dawn of the Dead, but if they haven't figured it out in Shaun of the Dead, then
Shit,
there's
I
nothing
haven't
to
watched
suggest,
Dawn of the Dead in forever.
There's nothing to suggest that it's not from the same general outbreak. If you want to talk about different kind of zombies, it's kind of mean to differentiate between
I think so.
American and British zombies.
I think so long as it doesn't step on certain toes, and as long as that there's a little bit of continuity there, then that would be okay.
Let me double back so I got a better stance here. Which one's fucking Dawn of the Dead, just to refresh my memory?
Dawn of the Dead is the one where they're in the mall.
Gotcha. Then they're different zombies.
All right.
The behavior and physiology of the zombies is different.
That is true. The ones in Dawn of the Dead are fucking psychotic, whereas the Shaun of the Dead ones, they just kind of meander until they notice.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead
Well, that's
uses...
kind of what British people do anyway.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
maybe it's a
Yeah,
cultural
it's just
thing.
a British.
It's a cultural
British
thing.
American thing. That's all.
Sure.
They're much more polite undead.
Maybe it's a regional thing. You don't know how fucking zombies react to different peoples.
I guess you're
Maybe
right.
they like Chinese food.
Maybe it has something to do with the different weather types too. It's a lot colder
Maybe.
over in that part of the world than it is
colder in New York, too. But
Maybe, but that the thing is that you can pick out a lot of these movies, and you can pull from them, and you can go, this one occurs simultaneously with this one, or this one occurs within the history of this one. You can sit there and go, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of it's speculation, but I also think that it kind of makes things a little bit more interesting, especially if you can find correlation. Don't shrug that off. I think it's fascinating to be able to look at it and go,
yeah, but no one cares about your opinion.
no, you're right. No one does.
Here's a
But
question, though.
I think, I really like your suggestion that Mad Max and Book of Eli are somehow side by side. I think that's super fascinating, and I didn't think of anything like it before. But
To be clear, I don't actually think that they are.
I know, but I still think that the notion of it, just the same, is still really cool. I mean, same topography. Everything is this barren, burned wasteland. You've got people that are just kind of scattered across. One's obviously happening somewhere else, and it may be further along than where this other area is, but it gives this idea that this is a more rounded world than what it truly is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think I kind of like that, because I like looking at pieces. There's certain stories that you look at, and you're getting just a snapshot into that world. One of the things that I would really like to see is you'll see these, and I've seen it once. It was in what's the movie with John Travolta, and he's trying to steal all the money, and then he's got. Hugh Jackman is he's a hacker. Swordfish. Thank you.
Could have just said Halle Berry's tits. I would have called it.
Thank you. That was the next clue.
So much easier.
That's the next clue I was getting to. They kind of do this where the explosion goes off in the ball bearings. They kind of do this 360 thing, and the ball bearings are going in all different directions. I've always wanted to see a gunfight between people, and they track each of, like, the gunfight is the main focus of the actual story, but then they follow each one of the rounds as they kind of go outward from the fight to see where all it goes, because the bullets in movies, it's like they go off, and those are going somewhere. They're doing something, right? But that's not the focus of the story, so they don't do anything with it. Gunfights happen in movies and TV shows and things of that nature, and it's irrelevant. Thing is that the bullet just doesn't stop after the gun's fired and doesn't hit its mark. It continues to go. And with the explosion in Swordfish, it kind of suggests that. But each of those ball bearings continue to travel even past that moment right there. But again, it's not part of the story. It's irrelevant. And to me, I've always looked at a story like that, and I've gone, well, how cool would it be to see where they go beyond that and have more story to be told there? It would make
so what? Make a movie where the movie ends when a guy gets clipped by a random ball bearing?
Well,
explanation.
Okay. I'm talking about if you were to make like a little short film and you actually have a gun battle, and it's short, nothing real elaborate, but you have this kind of high intensity thing where there's this gunfight that goes off, bad guy gets apprehended, or the cop gets shot and the bad guy gets away. However you want to play it out.
A squid falls from the sky, whatever.
Doesn't matter. However you want to. What? No. So however you want it to end. But then you backpedal and you follow each one of the rounds as they kind of go out from there. And those are the stories that you're watching for.
I feel like either it's going to be pretty boring or really sad.
Right?
It hit a brick wall and stopped, or it hit a small child, and now everybody's super sad about it.
But that's the thing. It shows that the world is more than just what's happening there. And that's a part of what I have certain issues with certain movies, is it's too two-dimensional. But when you start adding in all of these other things, you start to go, okay, well, these things are all happening at the same time. It's part of why I really like what they do with the MCU, because you recognize that while Captain America and all of them are up here flying around doing their thing, you've got Jessica Jones and Daredevil down here on the streets doing their own thing.
Not to mention, while all of that is happening, you've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. picking up the pieces after all of the big stuff.
And then someplace way out in deep space, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
All of these things are either happening simultaneously or parallel. It's
slightly askew.
Right.
Yeah.
But it adds this, that universe is so developed and rounded. It's part of why I love it as much as I do.
Even though there's so many characters and everything is so intertwined, it's still such a complete universe.
That being said, you can go into any one of them without having seen the others.
Correct.
True.
But that's what I love about it. But then you look at other stories, and it's just, to me, it's really flat. And then they start adding in things around it in order to kind of flesh out that universe. That's why I really do enjoy crossovers. Now, I say that, and as I mentioned to you the other day, there's an episode of Bones that crosses over with
Bones.
Yes, Bones.
We've actually talked about that on the Flick Freaks. It's a running joke that nobody watches Bones.
I like Bones. I watch a lot of Bones.
Then
I
you're
don't-
part of our joke.
That's
I
fine.
don't watch Bones.
Bones is good. I enjoy it.
We caught some flack in the comments. They were like, people were, I watch Bones.
Oh. See, it's irrelevant to me.
Mom watches
See,
Bones.
here's the thing. It's irrelevant to me.
I'll show you
I'll
some
watch a show,
Bones.
and if I fucking like it, then I like it. If you've got beef with it, I don't really give a hot shit. So,
I like the Big Bang Theory.
yeah.
I love The Big Bang Theory.
She watches it, reruns
yeah.
of it every fucking time I've ever been over there. They've been watching it. And she's
Shut
like,
it.
"Shut up while I'm watching Big Bang Theory." And I'm like,
And I will also Sheldon people. You're in my spot.
"Oh yeah."
I greatly disagree with the Big Bang Theory.
So
Shut your dirty mouth.
the
Next show.
there is a crossover episode between Bones and
Slappy Hollow.
and Sleepy Hollow, which is fucking stupid. Absolutely hate it. It was this last Halloween episode,
I
and
haven't seen it in the last
it's
few seasons.
fucking terrible because it sits there and takes all of the stuff that happens in Sleepy Hollow and makes it real. And so in Sleepy Hollow, you've got demons and ghosts and all these things that are actually happening.
but everything
then
in
it
Sleepy
suggests-
Hollow is already being treated as real in Sleepy Hollow.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if it was self-contained, okay, so it's like Supernatural,
Yeah.
right? Supernatural's world, to them, all of that is real, all of that exists, and that's
Gotcha.
fine, okay? Perfectly fine. But if they tried to branch that in with NCIS, I go, you're breaking reality, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, hey, don't you really like a show where the whole point is that monsters are really well hidden and only certain people can look at them because they've got magic eyes or some shit?
No, it's
What's
not.
it called? Grim with 2 M's?
No, wait. What is it? The other show about fairy tales?
I don't know.
Once Upon a
Once
Time.
upon a time.
About time.
That's a great show.
Is supposed to be tied in with Lost because
What?
this is the Lost connection I was trying to remember, and it kind of ties into the real world being.
Granted, I haven't seen Lost, so
The candy bars show up in both of them. Apollo bars, I think, show up in both settings.
Well, if we're going to go with products, then Let's potato chips and Morley cigarettes show up in like everything.
Well, yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, well, keep going with your point. I'm
down with this, and it works for what it is we're trying to make the point to.
Yeah, it's saying that in that universe where the candy bars are the same, and there's a couple of items and people that show up that on this island, there's a mystical island with magic monsters and smoke monsters and things like that and old gods. And in the living world, since those people were dead, spoilers,
Over in Storybrooke.
yeah, over in Storybrooke, they're all, meeting princesses and all the Disney characters and stuff, saying that that's actually real to that universe.
Right, but it's so long as they're within the confines of the
Right.
city, correct?
Yeah. Right.
Of the town.
yes.
Now, if they
can't
leave
leave.
that, if they leave that,
it wipes their memories.
and they become just whomever they actually are.
They become somebody with amnesia, basically.
Yeah.
They don't know who they are, where they are.
It's that makes certain senses within its own world.
All I'm saying is that a crossover between one ridiculous show to another ridiculous show that's slightly more grounded in reality, it's fine. Whatever. It's TV. It can still continue to make sense. Just because maybe that just means the people in Sleepy Hollow are doing their jobs well enough.
Maybe.
That there's not monsters all up in everybody's business.
Yeah, but they're talking about the. It's not a burn. They're talking about the apocalypse and
So is X-Files.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that.
That's like the whole fucking thing.
Well, yeah.
Also,
Aliens, motherfucker.
Pow. That's what's up.
Oedipus.
in Bones, don't they?
Oedipus.
Shut up.
Isn't Booth a descendant of John Wilkes Booth
And yeah,
in Bones? So
Yeah.
that
your computer would sleep, brother.
that's interesting. So they're saying that it's actual real world tie-in also.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I think your computer just turned itself off or something.
Are we still recording?
We lose the entire episode. No, it's back on.
Fantastic.
All right, so we're at the last little 3-minute marker, roughly, give or take.
4.
4. Okay,
Ish.
so
Let's start our plugs.
yeah, Allie, don't have to like make a clearly defined mark. Me,
Yeah,
setting,
I fucking do.
Jesus Christ! Do you have anything you want to add to this?
You guys are both nuts.
Yeah,
all three of you, actually.
Do you have anything you want to add to this?
I've been quiet.
He's been good.
Not really.
No? All right.
Yeah, my life's pretty boring.
Okay.
Finally on the 4th book of Song of Ice and Fire.
How's that working out for you?
Oh, it's great. It's good.
So, Jareth, plugs?
Flick Freaks podcast.
Yeah.
Check them
All
out.
of the social medias for it. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
Yep.
All of the aboves.
All of that business. They've got stuff going on all over the place.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't think of anything.
Well, we've always said that.
I'm on Twitter now.
You are?
Yeah, Jareth is on Twitter.
Are you tweeting?
I am twitting, yes.
Oh, my God, you twit.
He's a
I twit.
Or are you twat?
I twit right now. I haven't upgraded to twatting yet. I've got to get more experience in Twittering.
Eventually, he'll start twerking.
Okay. You let me know when you hit that next level.
When I go to twerk?
No, when you go to twat. You know.
Okay.
Let me know when you hit that achievement.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll keep you up to date.
There will be a bell. It'll go off. It will happen.
Cowbell?
It is a cowbell. For Jareth, it would be a cowbell. So, we've obviously got our website, as we were talking about earlier. The All Tower Podcast.
Patreon, stores, etc.
Etc. Get over to check us out on Facebook as well. You can get over to alltowermedia.com. Check us out over there on Facebook. Share us, like us, add us, spread us around, all that good business. Don't glare at me.
Reach out and touch us.
Yeah, leave us comments. Especially comments. You want to hear something? You want to talk about an episode that you'd like us to do a conversation piece about? We'd be more than happy to give it a try, because eventually I'm going to run out of ideas, and I'm going to tap everybody else for all of their ideas, and eventually we'll run out of those ideas, and then we'll have to backtrack across other episodes that we've already done before, and it'll be great. But new ideas are always welcome.
You might also remind your viewers and listeners that use YouTube. They've changed their policy now, and to be notified of new episodes, they need to participate within the YouTube videos. So liking, comment, and subscribing boost the knowledge of new episodes being released to your audience.
Aha. I hope everyone caught that, because I'm not repeating it, because he said it very elegantly.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, you know.
Like, comment, and subscribe, or you won't be able to keep seeing us.
Pretty much.
There's the simple version.
Drop
right there.
mic.
Pow.
Don't drop the mic.
Yeah, that's why they're on booms.
Yeah, I know.
So, last but definitely not least, since they do let us use the studio over here, even though Jareth doesn't like mobile gaming, Spellbook Studios.
Dickhole.
I'm a bastard.
Make sure you get over and check out their stuff over at spellbook.com. Yep. Don't be like Jareth, like mobile gaming. Buy yourself a bunch of stuff. Play some games. Critter Catch.
Critter Catch, Undead Hero, The Infinite Black, and Rings of Night, currently on the App Stores and available to play and have fun with.
There you go. See, those are things. And then you should always, always, always make sure you get over and join the forums. Why, Allie? Why should you get over and join the forums over there at Spellbook?
To win shit.
Win shit.
What shit would you win, Dire Monkey?
Right now, well, nothing right now, but...
Well, you know what I mean.
There will be contests and things, especially for D.A. Roberts' book, The Lost Legion, Perdition's Flames.
See, and then DA's also got the book series for Ragnarok Rising.
Yep.
And you can get out there and check all that stuff out.
And
see, I did this. Don't glare at me.
Maybe,
I do what I want.
Maybe there might be some kind of a book giveaway for one of those books, too.
That'd be kind of awesome. We need to get DA back in here again sometime in the near future. We'll have to have him on. Josh and I are putting the final glimmering touches on the card game, and I need to do a couple of final round testings. We did make some adjustments based off of recommendations by some of the folks here at Spellbook Studios, and they've been helping with that. Well, a few of them have been helping with that, and that's nearing completion so rapidly it is making my head spin. So hopefully this will be completed. We'll get the sign off on everybody, and then we will have that out there for people to actually be able to play everywhere. That'd be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. So this has been our episode of whatever we want to call this episode. I don't know what it is. I know
Crossover realities.
I think Josh is the one that ends up titling them. He'll come up with something stupid.
Farfig Newton.
Yeah, he'll call it something. It'll be fantastic. I don't have any doubt about that. He typically is. That's how he like lays his mushroom stamp on our show.
Ew.
Josh, title this episode "Mushroom Stamp."
Please.
Funny story about
He doesn't
mushroom
actually
stamps.
listen to it. He'll like ask me what the concept of the show is. He'll listen to the beginning of it. He'll listen to the very end of it, and then he'll.
Josh, listen to this episode.
I once worked as a doorman for a local band, and somebody came in and asked me if the band was good, and I said, yeah, it's got Keith Gaterman's mushroom stamp of approval. They're like, oh, that sounds impressive, and they paid me cover.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've got nowhere to go with that.
mushroom stamp.
Mushroom stamp. I think that needs to be our new sign. Well, you can say goodbye, internets.
Remember, kids, don't put your tongue in light sockets.
And this
The
is
more you know.
G.I. Joe. So, this has been an excellent episode, in my opinion, and I look forward to doing the next one with us here in about 2 weeks or so back over here at Spellbook Studios. Thank you, and you all have a safe evening.
Bob's your uncle.
I love turtles.